Welcome to the Embrace Strength podcast. I'm your host, Ashley Crocker. I am an experienced trainer and active life professional. I work with people who are struggling with nagging pain to get back to the activities they love without fear of re-injury. This podcast is here to educate and provide value to you on all things health, fitness, staying active, and personal development. Let's dive in. Hello. Welcome to the weekly recap. It's a Monday. I was going to do this on Friday, but we went out of town and left on Thursday night. So honestly, I'm just going to say these weekly recaps will come out either on Friday or Monday. So yeah, apologies for being late, but don't even know if that many people listen to these, but I said I was going to do this for an entire year, so I am keeping my word with doing these recaps, okay? So this is weekly recap number 34, and let me see here. Last week, honestly, feels a bit like a blur between work stuff, in-person coaching, and like making sure I was ahead enough to not really have to work on Friday. But yeah, so kind of like a blur last week, if I'm being honest. Nothing jumps out except for something I did want to share, because if you are a coach who's listening to this, it will probably make you feel better that you're not alone with just, I've been really struggling with content lately and like overthinking content, analyzing everything, second guessing myself, all the things. And if you are not an online business owner, you're not really going to understand this. But if you are, you're going to be like, oh, I get it. It's just like when you use social media for marketing, there is so much to strategy and types of content and like touching on XYZ, and like also make sure you share personal stuff, but also give value, but also talk about your offer, and like, oh, don't make your video like this, you have to make it like this, or it's really exhausting and overwhelming to just try and keep up with how quickly things move. And I know that there are people out there that are going to say, don't complain, you can post on the platform for free and like all these things. And that is true, but also can hold space for the fact that it is really freaking annoying sometimes to have social media as your platform because of all of these things, and it is ever changing, and it's just a lot. Like when you are a coach, you're not selling a product, you're basically selling yourself as solution to your ideal client, right? Your help is the solution to their problem, and there are pros and cons to that, and sometimes it can just get really exhausting when you're like, it is so much pressure on how you show up and all these things. And there are seasons that I go through where it feels really easy to show up and be myself and not overthink it or whatever. But then there are other seasons where it just feels like the hardest thing in the world. And so anyways, the thing that I've been trying to focus on though is like what do I want to say, but also like what would be helpful to my ideal client, like what's going to make them feel seen and like I am a person they can trust for the issue that they're having, right? For being able to stay in the gym and stay out of pain. And anyways, it's just a lot sometimes. Having a personal brand is a lot. Trying to grow a personal brand is just a lot. And yeah, there are just hard times to having your own business. There's a lot of pros though. And so it's just like, I need to be better about focusing on the pros and like take this like pressure off myself, because I know this is the case with a lot of coaches as well, is that we put so much pressure on ourselves with like every piece of content when it just like really doesn't have to be that way, right? Like, we don't have to put that much pressure on ourselves, because guess what? Every piece of content and everything you put out is like one tiny little drop in the bucket of trust for somebody, right? And that should take the pressure off, right? But anyways, it's going to be a short recap today. That is the main thing I wanted to touch on. And basically saying, like, if you're a coach with a personal brand online and you feel like this sometimes, you are not alone. And I've been doing this for a long time and I still feel like that. And it's the end of the year as well, or approaching the end of the year. And if you are a coach with your own business, I encourage you to look at your year as a whole and see and compare it to the year before, right? Like, try not to put so much pressure on every single month, but it's more about the overall year, right? And not just monetarily, but like also schedule wise too. Like, if you are making the same amount of money or around the same amount of money, but you're working less or you have fewer clients or, whatever, that is progress as well, right? So this is also the time of year where I have to remind myself of that too, where it's like, it's not just about progress with making money, but also how you will feel on a weekly, monthly basis in your business. And yeah, alrighty, so that's it for this weekly recap. I will talk to you guys next time.